Destiny. This is a franchise I have quite a history with. After first hopping on the journey with The Dank Below back in Destiny 1, I have stuck with it for many years. It wasn't until after the release of Savathun's mixtape that I took a break, and quite a long one. Then, after seeing everyone taking a Rise of Skywalker-sized dump over Lightfall, as well as some of the shady business practices Boingo were doing, I truly thought I was done with this franchise. But after I was gifted the final shape by a friend, and then quickly buying and speedrunning Lightfall, and while I didn't hate Nimbus, I did find him to be about as interesting as licking drywall, I admittedly did not have the highest hopes for the final shape. I thought it was gonna be meh at best. As it turns out, it's awesome! The final shape is the finale-ish of Destiny's story, where we finally are able to stop the edgy vape pen from turning the universe into his own Minecraft server where he can groom in peace. This adventure will make you enter the God Orb and explore its really, really fucked up heart, take on new foes and challenges, and completely break the game with a new class. Oh, and new guns, gear, activities, blah 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 blah. There's a lot to break down, so let us get to it, shall we? The gameplay of Destiny 2 has really been one of its strongest points, really going to show that genocide can be a fun family activity. This still remains the same with the last configuration. Shooting is fun, space magic is fun, and punching is still the best thing ever. I'm a Titan main, what can I say? This has been further enhanced with the sheer amount of stuff to do. The current planets have plenty of activities to sink your teeth into, except the EDZ, you still suck, go away. As well as the Legends tab, which allows you to do old raids and missions from Destiny's past. It is also way easier to do endgame activities that are not things like the raid, with all of the dungeons and high-level strikes that you can enter now. But all of this would not be worth it if we could not get some cool high-velocity argument solvers. And swords too, I guess, and this is delivered to us in spades because of one choice Bungie made. No more weapons are sunset. Everything that was ever released is now able to be used. The amount of guns available for you to earn and use is enough to make your average Texan say, this is a good start. And with Strand and Stasis guns now available in your kinetic slot, you can technically have an elemental weapon in each slot now. But there is one thing added to the conclusive silhouette that trumps all of this. The Prismatic class! Holy shit, Prismatic is so cool! This is a class that when asked if it is light or darkness space, it simply says yes. Prismatic allows you to combine both light and dark-based abilities to pretty much allow you to create your own class. And I literally mean everything. Supers, grenades, melees, aspects, even the fragments have extra bonuses for specific powers. The sheer amount of experimentation you can do with it is fucking ridiculous. I personally went for a melee-happy Titan setup that makes enemies get more beatings than my meat, I mean your meat, combining Strands, Solar, Void, and Arc to create the ultimate one-man army whose single brain cell is just a fist. But wait, there is more! Prismatic also gives you a secondary super called Transcendence. This is a massive buff that is charged up by damaging diabolical dipshits with both light and dark damage types. Once both bars are full, you hit the activation button to become big, scary, and pink, which increases ability recharge, improves weapon and ability damage, gives you a unique grenade that combines all damage types into one and whose duration is increased the more kills you get. All of this allows you to truly make your Guardian the way you want. Even Warlocks and Hunters now have the chance to look almost as cool as us Titans. But none of these new toys would be cool if we didn't have a new playground to fucking demolish. Well, funny you mentioned that. After 10 years of waiting, the Traveler has finally allowed us to come inside it. Unfortunately, the Witness already messed it up pretty bad, but this ended up with the creation of easily the coolest destination we have ever had in Destiny, the Pale Heart. The Pale Heart is a combination of old areas and memories from the past, as well as some stuff that makes me think that the direction for the art team was, here is some crystal meth, now go fucking nuts. I mean, I really have to hand it to them. They really got their hands dirty. They really do a good hand job.
Nope.
This is also the first linear destination that we have had in Destiny. What I mean is that while normally the patrol zones are a few areas linked together by roads and paths, the Pale Heart is one long trail that drives you deeper into the Traveler and closer to the Witness's hotboxing house. The closer you get to it is also where you really start to see the truly bizarre stuff that has been twisted into reality by Pale Megamind. If I'm honest, I kind of have a bit of a preference for this type of area. It really makes it feel like a story is being told as you journey through it, though I don't think it should be used for all future areas. The amount of activities to do in here is nuts as well. Overthrows are multi-stage activities that end in unique bosses and chaotic firefights. This is the big activity here that exists at all 3 of the main areas in the Pale Heart, giving 3 different enemy factions for you to use as target practice / punching bag / stress relief. There are also Lost Ghost, harder quest activities called Cysts, puzzle chests, and more. The colorless cardiovascular system also comes with its own Pathfinder system that gives its own rewards, as well as a generous amount of XP for you to grind on harder than a girl at a nightclub. It is finally nice to have a destination to have more to do than just patrols and public events, giving you plenty to do and to come back to. If I do have any complaints about the Pale Heart, it is that some of the interior areas can be confusing to navigate, with paths twisting and contorting in really bizarre ways. Then again, it could also be because, as a Titan, if I can't punch a problem to solve it, I don't know what to do. Lastly, unless you invite friends, you will be exploring this place all by yourself. It is not an open public area like normal patrol zones. And while I personally really don't have a problem with this because I prefer having all the murder to myself, I could see some people having issues with this. Overall though, this is easily the best area that Abungus have ever given us, and it will be a while before I get tired of it. A new area would not be complete, however, without new enemies for us to make extinct, and boy does the last structure deliver. At long last, we finally have a new race to fight. The Dread. No, I do not count the Scorn or Lucent Hive, since they are more reskins of an already present species. The Dread are a faction made up of twisted creations of the Witness, and are a true blast to pulverize. They are also quite a diverse cast of freaks, including Alaskans, Scorpion from Wish.com, get over here, London residents, fucking annoying, Mr. Freeze,
The blood will freeze.
and Bondage Fetish. Yeah, choke me harder.
What the fuck?
Depending on the combination of enemies you get from them, their fights can be the biggest challenge in Destiny. They can use strand and stasis abilities, give you literal tinnitus, and even spawn energy bursts after they die. This, plus the arenas that you encounter them at, make them honestly the most fun enemy for me to fight, equal to the time-traveling Boston Dynamics robots. A combination of fast melee strikers, ability-spamming support troops, and just being a sheer fucking nuisance give the Dread a great presence. This is further exemplified in their overall design. They just look off, really fitting the whole theme of Mr. Hotbox and it's constantly screwing with reality. The only issue I have with them is the fact that they appear in the Pale Heart only. And even then, they are usually just mixed in with the normal target practices that we have been stomping into the dirt for the past decade. They are not even really present in the patrol area that much. Most of the time, you'll just be fighting sentient Cumstains and Savathun's Simp Brood. I really do hope that we get them in a larger presence in the future, because honestly, they need it. Okay, so I don't know how to properly segue into the next section, so yee! This section will honestly be pretty short, since I really don't think graphics matter if the game is really fun. Except if it's Skyrim, I will graphics mod the shit out of that. I want pretty mushrooms. In Destiny 2's case, it has always been a beautiful game to look at, with some of the best lighting I have ever seen in a first-person shooter. Textures also still look overall crisp and sharp, with good reflections on things such as water and metallic surfaces, and the backdrops still look gorgeous! Unfortunately, I did notice a lot more stretched and low-resolution textures, as well as oddly mismatched impact effects. And some of the particle effects, especially anything related to fire, really don't look the best in my opinion. An opinion that is always correct, and if you think I am wrong, I will hunt you down. I live in your walls. Still, the game looks phenomenal, and that really is all there is to say. It's just pretty. And pretty rhymes with titty. I don't know, I could not think of a joke here. But now, for the big one. Quick non-spoiler review. The story is great, but I still think The Witch Queen was better. Review done. Spoilers in 10 seconds. Are you still here? Okay, here we go! The story of The Final Shape is easiest to break down into a pros and cons form, since going mission by mission would just get tedious, and I really don't feel like doing that. The pros! Unsurprisingly, Cade 6 being back with Nathan Fillion voicing him again is awesome. Even as a Titan main, I will admit the Hunters have the best Vanguard.
This reminds me of a shootout I had on Venus. Wound up stuck under a Cyclops for 2 hours. You almost sound like you're having fun. Aren't you?
Every scene with him is a treat. The only real downside with him is that it reminds me that Firefly only got 1 season. I will never forgive this injustice.
You live without purpose. Anguish. Bliss. A meaningless cycle of action and reaction.
The Witness is finally an interesting villain in The Final Shape. When he was first revealed, all I could think of was Puss in Boots whenever he tries to look cute. But now we find out what his power is capable of. We hear it get angry.
Right.
Silence, you insolent speck.
And find out what the whole motive of the Witness is. It basically is the ultimate version of that weird emo kid you knew in high school, thinking that life and its struggles are meaningless, with the ultimate goal of reshaping the universe into a perfect calcified stillness. A form of stalled chaos, a form that it can see as perfect due to no one needing to reach for challenges that they may never complete. Lastly, the missions themselves are a great highlight, each one offering something new to the player. Everything from large jumping puzzles, a storm that prevents sprinting and health regeneration, okay, that one was annoying, and several boss fights involving raid-light mechanics. The Legend variant is also quite well balanced, with sections being both quite challenging yet fair. I highly recommend playing it on this difficulty for your first time through. It is a lot of fun, and also gives you extra rewards if you complete it on that difficulty. Alright, now for the bad stuff. While the story is good, it is not the best that Destiny 2 has given us. The biggest downside is still The Witness. While it is better than it was before, it does not have the screen presence or interaction with our Guardian like Savathun did in The Witch Queen. All he really does to you is taunt you over the radio, like a Call of Duty kid telling you how he will spend time with your mother. It honestly reminds me of Escharum from Halo Infinite, a neat villain idea ruined by the fact that he really doesn't do anything until the end. The other real downside to the story is the whiny blueberry called Zavala. Why did we Titans have to get the lame one? While the Arbiter does a great job voicing him, rest in peace Lance Reddick, his actual character takes a massive downgrade in the missions, constantly complaining, being hostile to his fellow Vanguard.
No one lets me do anything. I am Vanguard Commander, and you
will follow my orders.
and even his ghost
I hail him. The look in his eyes when he turned away from me.
just drove me nuts. Look, dude, I know things are dire, Vuvuzela, but you are talking to a guardian that turns literal gods into guns because we think it is funny. We will be fine. The best thing about the story, however, is the ending. The final mission. Excision. Once the Salvation's Edge raid was beaten in the world's first race, I haven't commented on the raid yet because I have yet to do it, if I'm honest, it unlocked the true final mission of the campaign. And it is fucking awesome!
Defenders of Soul, hear me now!
Get that motherfucker!
This is a 12-man assault on the Witness's last stronghold, supported by every ally we have met across Destiny's story. After a long battle, our ghost allows us to Kamehameha Megamind to death, ending the light and dark war for good. Okay, super major spoilers incoming. Skip to the timestamp if you really don't want to hear this. Once this is done, unfortunately, your ghost dies due to the stress of the Witness and overcharging the light. However, Cade 6, who was revealed way earlier to be a light-based construct of an Ahamkara wish instead of by the Traveler, sacrifices himself to give your ghost life again.
They're my favorite. Don't ever forget that.
Overall, this final mission is amazing and a true ending to Destiny's most well-known storyline. In the end, however, this whole expansion gave me one major feeling. A feeling of realization. A realization that a storyline that we have been working with for the last 10 years is now over. Jesus, 10 years now? Thanks for reminding me I am aging, Bungie, you dick. I still like you, though. It is a weird feeling, not really knowing what to expect down the line. It actually makes me more excited for the future of the franchise. Where will it go? Will we now leave the solar system? Will Mami Marasav remove the restraining order against me? Will we finally get that Savathus?
Nope.
Overall, Banjo, you have me hooked. Let's get this new journey going. So in the end, with all the praise I have given this game, you might think it might be the first game to get the highest rating on my scale, the first winner of the Golden Stetson, and it unfortunately just misses the mark. It is still great, worth the purchase price, but it is held back by just a few things. Mainly some story details, the new race is not used enough in my opinion, and it still has problems Destiny 2 has had for a while. The new player experience is still fucking awful. While they have tried to alleviate it, it just doesn't explain enough of what has happened in the past to new players. To be honest, they should just link the 10-hour My Identity is Beef lore video like I have in the description. Even with all of this being said, it is still worthy of being called a rodeo star. It is one of the best expansions ever released for Destiny 2, and is certainly better than Lightfall. So grab it, join the fight against the Witness, and come inside the Traveler with us.